Hola, and welcome to today's live. I am your host, Anjelica Cazares, and on today's live, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching, I was given the topic of finance, and I was like, I don't think I'm the person to ask about like finance, like really, truly gritty, like finance. So I was like, you know what? I'll talk to you about finance the way I personally deal with finances. So I made a few notes, and forgive me if maybe you don't align with some of these thoughts, some of these processes, and you're probably wondering, Angelica, where are you at? I forgot my tripod, and I'm on my way to go buy a tripod, and we're here in Kansas City at Unidos US. Well, anyways, with saying that, hopefully this doesn't boot me off, but it's still recording. So I can edit that. I wonder if I can send the notes to phone like that. I can talk about it. Yeah, let me do that. If I am like off for just a second, I'm still here. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Better. Just 1 second. All right, I'm here. I'm back. I said it's Juan. Here we go. Just a second. Here we go. Awesome. All right. So when we talk about finances, we are really talking about what um what are your financial goals? When we talk about finance, we think of prosperity. When we talk about finance, we think of money as freedom. And I believe we're the only species on the planet of Earth where we will sell our time on this planet for the value of money. Money in terms of it's realistic, yes, because it like we all revolve around it, but it's unrealistic because it really has no human factor. Meaning the value of your body, of your living soul, of your living body has no value because it shouldn't and it doesn't. Now, does it? Yes, in terms of like to pay for a liver, a kidney, and things like that. Yes, apparently it does, but it truly doesn't. And we're the only species on planet Earth that will sell our time for this made up concept. And it's a made up concept. We made it up, right? Humanity made it up. And it's just the way it works. And I understand that we live among other people who live like in value of money. And so we have to live in this world. What does it truly, honestly mean? So in terms of forgot your password. In terms of when we talk about money, for me, I have to ask myself things like, what are true investments to me personally? So I'm going to open up just a little bit in terms of like, what are my true investments for myself? One of them, truly and honestly, I don't know if I'm going to, I think I've said this before, and I'm sure people have heard me say this. I don't know if what I'm investing in now in terms of like our business, if it's going to last long enough for me to be able to hand over to my son. I don't know that. I don't know if that's going to be something I'm like have the capacity to do. So I have to invest in his education now. And I think they call that a living will. I have to invest in his education now because that might be the only thing I might be able to leave him. So for me, it's a true investment for me, for him to have something that he can lean on, his education, that he can lean on to make money or to gain knowledge to be able to live off of. then you have to be realistic with what your investments, like what your true investments to you, what they really mean to you. So when you talk about your goals, ask yourself, what are my goals? And they're not like, oh, I want to make 100,000. I, when I gave this, it wasn't a class. I think it was like uh, what was it? Like when we got together and we talked about like what we want our future to be. It was like what would you call it? No, it wasn't like a vision board. It was more like we sat around, and so I gave a small class on just reaching, I guess not your goals, but reaching your like your further self. And so one of the questions that I always ask every time I give like these little small tiny classes with a few individuals, like 10 to 15 people, and I've only done this about 2 to 3 times. The question that I always ask is, if you had the infinite money amount in the world, where money wasn't the concept, not where money isn't the concept. Yes, money is a concept. That's not the way I was asking the word. But if you had the infinite amount of, if money wasn't an issue or money wasn't the problem, what would your day to day look like? And answer that truly. What would your day to day look like? And I think every time it never fails. We always get a few people who always answer, well, I would lay in bed and sit there and just, you know, disfrutar or live in, how do you say disfrutar in English? Enjoy, enjoy like my life. And now, and I was like, so what does that mean? What does it look like? Give me like a 7 to 5 o'clock. Like, are you waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning? Are you waking up at 9, 10, 11? Are you not getting out of bed at all? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean you would enjoy it? How would you enjoy it? Truly, honestly, how would you enjoy it? And they think, with a little bit more like playing 20 questions, a little bit more investigation, people always say, I would be doing what I want to do. And I was like, okay, well, what is that your want? What is that you want to do? And it always turns out they're like, I would want to spend more time with my kids. I'm like, okay, and then after you spend time with your kids, then what? Well, then um, I would like to work towards uh, helping my community or invest in a business and really take the risk of investing in a business and seeing if things work out, helping my family, helping friends, helping my community. I'm like, oh, so you're telling me that your goals really isn't the money or the freedom. It's what you can do in return of not having to worry about money, because we equate money to freedom. When we talk about freedom, we speak in terms of like prosperity. And I read to you what prosperity actually means, because we think prosperity as financial freedom. While prosperity and wealth are related, they are not synonymous. Prosperity encompasses a broader concept of well being, including wealth, but also encompasses factors like health, happiness, and social well being. Wealth, on the other hand, primarily focuses on financial and material resources. A society can be wealthy in terms of its financial resources, but still lack prosperity if its citizens are not healthy, happy, or socially connected. I have to continue to remember and remind myself what that truly means to me. Yes, having the money to do some of the things that I want to do, it's all well and good, but is it going to make me happy, or am I just focusing on making more money and being completely miserable? And being completely miserable. Which is it? Because you got to pick one. Do you want to be filthy rich and miserable? Or do you want to live a fulfilled life? And yeah, that includes making money, and that includes your finances. So, one of the other things that I wanted to bring up during this live is having the grace when making money and financial mistakes is like asking for people for their firstborn. It's so unforgiving. We're so unforgiving to ourselves. We will mentally like exhaust and mentally become that mistake of which we made when it came to our finances. The bigger the money, whatever it is we think is the largest some amount of money, but the bigger amount, the more we're really looking forward to just sticking that like that virtual knife in the chest, and we feel the pain every time. We literally will feel physical pain when we make those money and financial mistakes because we are so unwilling to give ourselves grace. If we're not willing to give ourselves grace, imagine what it is to give somebody else the grace if they make the money mistake with your money. And I know, right? Because we've already given over our time of like life of my time for that money, and you're just gonna, just about it like nothing. Like it just doesn't, it doesn't compute, right? We aren't, we're not gonna we're unwilling to give ourselves grace, and much less to other people. Money is the point of every break, every fight, every end to every goal. At I remember somebody said one time, you know how some people get rich is that they actually put life insurance on the oldest individuals in the family. So when they die, they get the life insurance money, and that's how a family prospers. We have to bank on the life. We have to bank on the death of an individual in our family for us to get the life insurance, for us to have the possibility, the opportunity to be able to do something with the money when they pass away. We live in such a dystopian world where if we continue personally, as your personal finances, if we continue to let the money rule every aspect of your life, every aspect of who you are to your core, of your values, your morals, not anybody else's morals, your morals. My morals are not the same to people who read a Bible. My morals are not the same to those who practice witchcraft, whatever, call it whatever. My morals, we're willing to exchange it for that. Uh-oh. I done messed up. Jesus. Oh my God. Okay. So, in terms of finances, I think the lasting thing that I want to say, especially on this live and those who are listening, is if money wasn't the issue, what would your day to day look like? If your finances weren't in order, because I made my mistakes, so I'm sure other people have, and we continue to do so. And we give ourselves some grace. If our finances weren't, say this, if our finances weren't in order, would we still be doing today what we did? Would we still continue to do today what we want to do? Meaning, does your day to day life look like, if your finances were in order, does my day to day look like if they were in order? If they weren't, if they were, are they the same? Is my day to day looking the same? And if it's not your finances that are not in order, it's you. Yes, money's going to be a big hinder, but so is your happiness. And if you're willing to sell your happiness for money, we're doing it wrong. Be realistic with your goals. Realistic with your goals. What are the true investments to you? And have grace. Be forgiving for yourself for the mistakes that you make, that you will continue to make with money. When you're willing to forgive yourself and have grace for yourself, you're willing to do it for others. Now, I'm not saying don't let people run all over you. What I'm saying is be willing to forgive yourself with money mistakes. Money will continue. It shouldn't, but money will continue to come between partners, family, siblings, kids, and parents. And it's because we make promises that we can't keep. So you have to be realistic with your goals. What are your goals, and what are the true investments to you? So I'll leave you with those questions. Um, so I think that's as much as I like to say on the live. I really I don't want to like drill down on the concept of finances and you know save money here, put money there, and compound and wealth and Bitcoin. All of that means nothing if you don't have the mindset. I hate saying that word. All of that means nothing if your thought processes aren't aligning with what your realistic goals are. I really hope that makes sense. So, with that being said, thank you, amigas, for joining me today. I know it's all over the place. I know it doesn't make much sense, but I swear it makes sense to me. And I probably have to go and do another live on this just to be very specific with it, but it makes complete sense to me. So, with that being said, hope this makes sense to you. Also, for those who are in Texas, if you're in Texas and you would like to join us and take some of these mindset classes or some of these development classes that we're offering, actually, personal and business. And then, of course, we have a whole financial stage to talk to the experts because although we want to, I have the mindset and all of this other stuff, but if I still don't know how to invest, what am I talking about, right? We have to talk to the experts also. So, with that being said, if you're in Texas and you would like to join us on the Entrepreneurship Conference, the tickets are listed right there, scrolling right across. You can find it on our Facebook, Instagram, on our webpage, LatinaLeadershipPodcast.com. Tickets are available. They're at a very, very low price, at a very small fee. Included in this ticket is all the experts, the activations, the conversations, the camaraderie. We're going to have a bazaar, which is a marqueta. It's our form. It's cara bazar. Um, yeah, and camaraderie. And then we're going to have brunch together. And we're going to, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, if you haven't bought your ticket, buy your ticket now. Our conference is September 20th. And yes, they're gonna go as we're pressing, and I always say this every time we press a little harder, the tickets. I mean, when we sell out, we sell out. There's no way possibility for me to add more. When they're gone, they're gone. With that being said, I really do hope you buy your ticket, and I hope to see you at the conference. Con eso, amigas, I'll see you next time.